So apparently the route I mapped goes through a river, which I didn't know about. So we're gonna go check it out and see how deep it is. The vast beauty of southern Utah is something that never ceases to amaze me. We got in late last night and just set up and went to bed. But first thing this morning I got up and watched the sunrise up over the rocks over there and really enjoyed that, just trying to take it all in. What I'm really excited about is this weekend we're going to be doing routes I've never been on before. So while I've done a lot of exploring in the close proximity around Goblin Valley, we're going to be going from Goblin Valley to Cathedral Valley, and then from Cathedral Valley to the Burr Trail, none of which I've ever done before. So I'm really excited to get out and do this adventure with you. Excited about what the day had to offer, we ate a quick breakfast, packed up our rigs, and headed out on the trail. The first few miles would be a little bit of backtracking from what we had done the night before, but since it was dark when we came in, we were really excited to be able to see the scenery around us. This is a road that I'd been on a couple of times because we like to come back in this area to camp, and so it was fun to show Mike and Kate this area before we headed out towards Wild Horse Canyon Road, which after you pass the Slot Canyon, I'd never been on. Just taking a quick stop at Temple Mountain Pictograph. Just a couple of miles away from where we camped. And gonna head over for the main portion of the trail right now. Many of the best adventures I've ever been on started from just trying to figure out where a road leads. Last fall, we'd been down in this area doing a little bit of exploring and camping as a family. We had a good time traveling across several fun dirt roads, but didn't have enough time to see where they led to. Following the trip, I decided to open up Google Earth, HEMA Maps, and really start to see what my options were. It didn't take long for me to come up with the idea of thinking about how cool it would be if I could map a way from Goblin Valley to Cathedral Valley all on dirt roads. After several hours of looking over the map and finding a few good options, I had charted out a route that looked like it would work well, and was excited to tell my brother Mike about what I had discovered. Just a few hundred yards past the Wild Horse Slot Canyon parking lot, things started to get really fun. The road leads directly into a wash for several miles, and the terrain was definitely something I wasn't expecting. Trees, rocks, and other debris had been moved all around from all of the flash flooding, as we've had a very unusual wet winter. Knowing that the route from this point forward would be on roads I'd never been on before, there was some apprehension on whether or not we were actually going to be able to make it. Everything I had planned had basically been looking on Google Earth and HEMA Maps and making the two align so that I could pick a route that worked, would get us all the way to Cathedral Valley. The first 15 miles or so took us a lot longer than we had anticipated, not because the terrain was more technical than we were thinking it would be, but because we were so blown away by how cool it was, we kept stopping, taking pictures, and getting as much video footage as we absolutely could. One of the goals that I've had for these videos is to get as much exterior footage as possible. Not only does it highlight the beautiful terrain that we're covering, but it's just more fun. Once we'd made our way out of the wash, the terrain really started to change. We'd gone from more of a red dirt with vegetation around to a completely desolate area with a really soft, loamy dirt. It was incredible to see just how desolate the desert can be. While I've lived in Utah and Arizona, there's few places that are as beautiful as southern Utah's deserts. You can go from the red rock canyons to the white sands and everything in between. As our rigs rolled through the seemingly post-apocalyptic type terrain, I couldn't help but think about how much my family needed to see this route. I'd taken this trip with just Mike and Kate, they in the 4Runner and me in my Toyota Land Cruiser. Lauren and the boys were visiting family in Boise and weren't able to join me for the trip. But I know it's something they would really enjoy, so we're going to have to make a return visit. I've really enjoyed showing Lauren, who grew up in the Pacific Northwest, just how incredible the southern Utah desert is. So we really had no idea going into this trail what it was going to be like. Basically, I said I want to get from Goblin Valley to Cathedral Valley, and I just, found roads that made it connect. And man, am I glad we chose this route. It's so incredible. Everything's beautiful. You get areas like this where it's completely desolate. We haven't ran across another vehicle since we left the Goblin Valley area. So it's absolutely beautiful, and this trail is just really incredible. The closer we got to Cathedral Valley, the more excited I became. This is a place I've wanted to visit for a very long time. While I've been to Capitol Reef several times, we never made it in to see Temple of the Moon or Temple of the Sun. Having seen so many incredible pictures, I knew it was a place I had to get to. So apparently the route I mapped goes through a river, which I didn't know about. So we're gonna go check it out and see how deep it is. I brought these as my extra pair of shoes, not as really my water shoes, but I'm glad I brought them. So far so good. Making our way into Cathedral Valley was a jaw-dropping experience. Pictures and video can do no justice to how beautiful these magnificent rock formations are. Alright, so right now I'm standing next to Temple of the Moon. Back behind me, here you can see Temple of the Sun, and I'm just completely blown away by Cathedral Valley. This is somewhere I wanted to come for my entire life, and it's beautiful. It's very remote. We've seen a couple of cars on the way in, but we have the entire place to ourselves right now. So just completely living up to expectations and looking forward to finding a great place to camp tonight and continue on. Reluctantly, we knew it was time we had to move on. After a rig of exploring around Temple of the Moon and Temple of the Sun, we knew we had to find a place to camp. Camping within the national park is against the rules, so we needed to find a place on BLM land where we could pitch our tents for the night. Luckily, this portion of Capitol Reef is surrounded by BLM land, and we'd found several roads that we knew led out of the park and we're going to have good options for camping. It took us about an hour to find a really cool camp spot with beautiful views. Once we had set up camp, we spent the evening exploring the rock formations nearby and enjoying each other's company around the fire as we talked about the day's adventures. In part 2 of our Goblin Cathedral Overland trip, we continue to cut our way through Capitol Reef National Park headed towards the Burr Trail. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, and as always, let us know what you thought in the comments.